Hi, so today I'm going to be talking to you about bud dates, best use by dates. Now, I know with people getting worried about compounding, some people are stocking up and they do have bud dates, so you do have to be aware of that. I also want to say that I am not a doctor. I do not pretend to be one. I'll always punt you back to your healthcare provider. This is just my opinion and what I have learned from using the compound for 13 to 14 months. Now, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Some of the compounding pharmacies, depending on whether they're A or B, have a 30-day expiration date, period. That's just what they're told that they have to. Now, the other pharmacies, there's different variants as to when the bud date is, and pretty much they have to take some of the compound and actually do tests on it to see how long it lasts, and pretty much that's part of what determines what the actual bud date is. Excuse me. So, first thing to remember with all of these vials is to keep everything clean. Make sure you're in a clean room when you're doing it. Wash your hands. Alcohol your skin. Alcohol the vial. They say you should do the vial between 10 to 20 seconds for to clean it. And that should be sufficient. Some of us are overachievers and will do it longer. Obviously, you don't want to do this if your cat's lying around or whatever. You want the area to be clean. So you do not also want to get a single vial with a 3-month supply. If you're getting a vial like that, switch providers, because the little plastic, it's not actually plastic, the rubber piece that the needle goes into, it's not meant to be punctured that many times. So also keep that in mind if you're getting a large dose and you're splitting it up into smaller portions. Again, just be careful, and that's totally up to you. I know that I've used my single vial up to 5 times. Again, making sure everything's alcoholed and cleaned off well. I try, again, as if I was injecting myself, use it as a clock, do one puncture at 12 o'clock, one at 3, one at 6, and so forth. And then maybe my last one in the middle to keep it a little bit safer. Now, if you're going to do that, also remember to look at the medication in the syringe. Make sure it looks okay. You don't want anything cloudy or if it has crystals. Granted, you can't see if there's any bacteria, but we're just hoping that there isn't. And those are about the only things that you can control. So, past the date, well, let's put it this way. You have a container of milk, let's say, and it expired yesterday. Are you just going to automatically throw it out? Won't. Most people kind of open it up, look at it, smell it, and then decide. Is it going to kill you? Chances are no. Same thing with these vials. If they get past their expiration date and you look at it and it looks fine, it's a very stable material that's in there. Worst case scenario, it may only be 95, 90% effective. And you may start to notice this as you use it. So you be the judge of that. Do you have to maybe put in a little more? Again, try your first one, see, go from there. That's my best advice. And another thing, you do not want to fill up multiple syringes at the same time. That is a big no-no. If you're going to a place that does this, go to a different place. They are not meant to be in those plastic syringes for long periods of time. They're not also supposed to be exposed to the light, which is why most of them come in darker vials, or some of them, if they come in more clear vials, will be in a little medicine bottle and so forth, or wrapped up really well until it's time to be used. So you also want to make sure that you label them when you started using them, if they're past the expiration date. And it's important to know, I like to label it right on the bottle. You could put it on a piece of paper, you could have a logbook, whatever. Also, if you have multiple vials and they have different expiration dates, mark them as to what order you should be using them so that you use the ones that are oldest first. The oldest one, put a 1 on or 2 on. You know, very simple. You can label it with a little Sharpie. You can put a little piece of tape on it with a label. You can even get yourself one of those fancy label machines and make the label yourself. So you also, again, want to make sure that everything is clean. Wash your hands, very important. Alcohol the vial, 10 to 20 seconds, very important. Alcohol the area that you're going to inject yourself. I also alcohol it a little bit afterwards. Again, do not reuse the needles and the syringes. You could buy plenty of them on Amazon. They sell them, they're pretty cheap. If you're microdosing, again, same things. Keep it clean. Try not to put the needle in the same spot every time. Mark when you're going to use it. There's calculators that can help you figure out what the exact dosage is. I'll put one in my description on this video. They help a lot. Again, I'm not saying that you cannot use it after the bud date. And I'll admit, I have used them after the bud date. It's totally up to you. But just be careful and be smart about it. You know, if you're going to do it, there's ways to do it. Most important, keep checking the medication. Make sure it looks clear. Make sure it doesn't have any crystals. Because we want you to be safe. Remember, I know these drugs are expensive, but getting sick or risking your life is not worth it. So, again, just keep these simple things in mind, and you should be okay using it past the bud date. I don't recommend using it years past the bud date, but up to a month or so, it should not be harmful. Like I said, it may just be a little bit less potent. And you could possibly even use it a little bit longer, but I'm not saying that. Have I done it? Maybe. At first, I wasn't as careful tracking the bud dates, but then again, I was only getting 1 month at a time. When I started getting 3 months at a time, the first telehealth service that I used sent them in pre-filled syringes. It wasn't exactly cool. It was actually kind of warm. They wouldn't tell me what pharmacy they use, and that was the first and last time that I used them. Did I use the medication? Hell yeah. I paid a lot of money for it. Did I find that it was working? It worked. Did I get sick? I'm here now. So that's all I'm saying. And that kind of wraps it up on this.